In early 2015, Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, said that more than 34% of their senior management are women, and is the secret sauce of their company. That year, Alibaba reported a $5.5 billion in profit, while Amazon reported a $241 million loss. Alibaba has always been regarded as an industry leader and has proven itself by being highly profitable over the years. Jack Ma often attributes its success to embracing diversity of all kinds, including gender. This visionary was able to see the true value in embracing diversity to provide more holistic and efficient solutions. Diversity is defined as the condition or instance of being composed of differing elements. So what is it about diversity, right? We get it. There's a diversity of everything. Gender, sexuality, personalities, food, being Malaysians, color. We hear the word diversity all the time. And in fact, most of us who are Malaysians come from a very diverse land and are exposed to it so young. Why are we not excellent at it yet? The key words here are embracing diversity. To embrace is to do more than merely accept something. To accept it is just to deal with things, work around it. To embrace it is to live with it, to work with it, and to be part of it. But people ask why. Why should I embrace diversity? Why can't I just stick with my Punjabi friends, my female colleagues, my heterosexual classmates? Logical question. Why should I put in extra effort to go and do things I normally don't do with people I don't normally hang out with? Immanuel Kant, an 18th century German philosopher, once said that enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-incurred immaturity. Kant, in trying to understand what success means to him and the human race, theorized on what purpose we are capable of achieving as human beings. In his work, Kant devises an unrealized future state of the human world, not defined by federalism, status-seeking, individualism, with a sense of moral and cultural maturity. This ideal society is not something he created based on what he wanted to see in the world, or some ideal dreams that we had. But this future society was depicted by him based on a careful and rigid study of sociology, human behavior, and the history of the human development from the time of the first Homo sapien. Upon careful study, we come to see that Kant's theory had a major factor. Guess what? Diversity. This theory had human beings who embraced and lived within diversity, seeing it as valuable and important in helping each other develop and grow. Despite some minor downsides and challenges along the way, this seems a successful model, with all sectors of the economy and society benefiting. This is what we're talking about today everywhere, achieving a united, wholesome society that embraces diversity, the diversity that keeps growing, and being able to do away with our individualisms and our arbitrary borders that we call countries. We talk about world peace all the time. We hear world peace all the time, inequality, poverty. Slowly but surely, yes, we're getting there, but we're not there yet, and we're far from it. Only when us, you and I, human beings as individuals, see the true value in diversity and the immaturity in our defensive stance towards fellow humans who are just different, we will progress a lot further, not only in terms of money or power, but a lot further, right? Holistically, economically, mentally, our mental and physical health, and the general happiness of human beings. If human beings are built to be able to reach this state in our social development, why not? In this busy day and age of mobile phones, wealth, success, startups, war, and interconnectedness, human beings are so consumed with the world that we created for ourselves, right? Beyond our superficial little world, none of our gadgets, our technologies, our water dams, Wi-Fi networks, none of it mean a thing. It only means something to human beings. Our minds are trained from a young age to be consumed by our personal lives. We always have something to do, finish something at uni, do an assignment, go to work. We're not given the space and the time to think about what defines us as individuals and what defines us as people, right? This is the self-incurred immaturity that Kant was talking about. And he said, the key to breaking these chains is reason. True success is in living a full and complete life, being transformed by others and transforming others' lives. As children of the 21st century, when diversity is becoming more and more of a corporate catchphrase, you hear it all the time, everywhere. Embracing diversity as a species is imminent and necessary, and it will come. It has to happen, whether through bloodshed or peaceful conciliation. And now is the time for you to embrace diversity, and those who don't do it first will not reap the rewards as much as those who do it first. They will reap the rewards multifold. Now, allow me to share with you my humble story of being the token diversity person, the adventures of a cultural nomad. I hail from a cute family of 3 kids, the middle child, of course. Born and bred in Bangsa, Kuala Lumpur, I had a fun childhood for most of it. I come from a single-parent family, and I have always enjoyed the completeness of my life. As a young child, I had the privilege to attend many classes, ballet, 2 piano classes. I didn't get why, guys. 2 piano classes. Violin classes, swimming, drama, Mandarin, it goes on. And naturally, as it were, as time passed, financial challenges were a common issue as we had only one sole breadwinner. I started earning at the age of 13, giving tuition to the neighborhood kids. I never took an allowance from my mom, funded my own meals, my own expenditure, and I never felt a lack of something. The one thing, though, that my mother always ensured was that my education never suffered. She would save in many other ways, but she would always ensure our access to books, stationery, the internet, a safe home with good food was always available. I went to school, I participated normally. I wasn't the best student. I would never complete my homework, 100% of the time, guys. And for most of my secondary school, I was out of class in the stairways. You know what those schools have, pointing class with the boys? Yeah. Studies-wise, I did pretty well for most of it. I never wanted to stand out. But the thing is, throughout my life, I did stand out. I'm Punjabi, but people couldn't understand why I never had a cord behind my name. Then I tell them, I'm Punjabi Hindu, you see. They're like, you're Hindu? What's up with your skin color? I'm like, okay. I've always been kind of outspoken. It's in my personality. Many teachers could not understand my style and hated that I asked questions all the time. At the age of 14, I was told that I would have to find a way to find my own education or risk not studying due to financial challenges. I had heard of a girl from my community who received the JPA scholarship through her MBBS abroad. And from that moment, everything I did in tuitions, in school, was geared up towards this. I always used to miss classes, always, but I used to make up for it studying on my own and in my own style. I worked smart, but not that hard. I initiated projects at school and got involved in societies for my CV. I received the JPA scholarship many years later and moved on to start my A-levels. I attended a youth camp where I was told that I'm a Pendatang, I don't deserve to be here, and I shouldn't be here. Okay. As a student who always missed classes in school and college, the teachers and lecturers grew to hate and doubt me. Just before sitting for my final physics A-level exam, my lecturer told me to pray really hard to bring my fail up to a pass. I was like, well, thank you for the support, I appreciate it. I could not stand up for my own identity because I had not found one. I was so confused within all these different labels of diversity, right? The challenges of unwillingly having to face diversity made it hard to find a sense of belonging and an identity to go with it. But you know, over the years I learned. I went abroad to King's College London, completed my LLB. I was exposed to a very cosmopolitan city that spoke 300 languages daily. I had to figure my way around. Work part-time in a foreign country where English was spoken the normal way, and my English was weird. Someone asked me if Malaysia was where we still live with trees. And I'm like, yep, that's why we're healthier than you guys. I had a tough time explaining how I'm Malaysian, despite looking Indian and having ethnic roots. I get stopped at every single airport I go to. Every single airport. KLIA, Turkey, London, Nepal, everywhere. They're like, what are you? Where are you from? I'm like, well, I'm just me. During law school, I could never focus for more than 10 minutes, so I missed out on many things that lecturers had discussed. Yet my friends around me got everything so fast. I'm sure a lot of you here get what I'm talking about. I had to work thrice the amount to get even close to what was necessary. And I suffered crippling depression in my first year of university, without even knowing it. My friends would knock on my door to get me out for dinner, and I would not answer. I would just stay as quiet as possible, so no one would know inside. I was always so out of place, and I hated being in my own skin. Why did I stand up? Why did I not feel a sense of belonging to any community? When I started my Master's of Law at King's again, I decided, with some prodding from my best friend, to pay a visit to the disability service, and I did. And much to my dismay at that time, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Wait, so I had ADHD for 24 years, and I didn't know it. Okay, what was going on here? Well, that was the cause of my lack of attendance in classes, the inability to write fast and write long passages, my hatred for my law degree, and my struggles throughout university trying to pay attention and be present. So this diagnosis meant that I have a learning difficulty. I could not read long passages, write long passages, or focus for more than 10 minutes. I was like, God, again? I felt like I always had to work extra hard to achieve what others could in half the effort. I felt like a victim to the world, right? I had another label now to my diversity portfolio. Through it all, there would be a random passerby on my journey who would appear and just show me immense and unconditional support and faith in my potential. Me, just some random person who doesn't know who she is. I found a mentor and a random auntie who helped me find many answers to big spiritual questions like what is life? By the way, there's no meaning to life. I had a cousin brother who gave me career advice. I had a best friend who's right here today who helped me learn how to love myself. A lecturer at university who saw potential in me and recommended me for a job way beyond my years. The feeling of empowerment and confidence that this gave me was newfound and empowering. These people educated me. They changed my life. These are the individuals who helped me stay strong in what I believed in. Having no sense of belonging made it difficult to deal with all the little microaggressions of being the token diversity person. I owned it. I lived through it. I fought for it. And I keep fighting every day. But not with others, with myself. When I was informed that I would not have any financial support post-SPM, I started applying for scholarships and college competitions that offered scholarships. I won my first scholarship at the age of 15. The day my SPM results came out, I was not out celebrating with my friends, but I was at home in front of the desktop that was really slow, using the TMNet StreamX connection, applying for all the 140 scholarships that were available. I just needed one. For my A-levels physics exam, that my lecturer said I would fail, I received a 100% score. Experiencing depression in my first year in university, I dealt with it by taking small steps each day. Just a positive thought a day, even when I could not believe in that thought for the death of me. I signed up for therapy. And many years later, I'm proud to tell you that I turned out the top Malaysian law student in the UK for that year. Thank you. 2 years later, when I was diagnosed with ADHD, it took me a while to come to terms with this new label, And it frustrated me so much. After all, diversity exists because of the labels and categorizations that we give each other. We human beings have created these systems and these categorizations of where you're from, who you are, where you belong to. After some thought and research on ADHD, I found out that Michael Phelps, American swimmer, was diagnosed with severe ADHD as a child. And what did his parents do? They put him for swimming. And he became the best swimmer in the US during his time. I mean, he could do it. Look what he made out of it. I had to do the same. I'm sure I could do it. Some renewed hope suddenly, and a weird sense of belonging. I applied for a fund to purchase a software that converted textbooks and written text to an audio voice format. It cost some money, about £700. But how was I going to read 10,000 pages of legal journals a week, having ADHD, when I knew I struggled for the past 4 years? Well, I'm so glad, as it turned out, I got the fund, I got the software, it served me really well, and today I'm so proud to share with you that I was the top in my course for Law of International Finance, a master's. Guys, I have still no clue how I did it, but I did it somehow. Yeah. Just to let you know, my attendance was only 10% in university, so I got your back, guys. There are rare selfless gems out there, those who embrace diversity, encourage each other to flourish. These are those riding the wave of the 21st century and doing it with heart. Feeling compelled by those who helped me throughout my journey, my biggest passion is in empowering others, particularly with regards to access to education, because that's what I got, and that's why I'm here today. When I was 16, I started tutoring at a local orphanage for young children with academic challenges. And before I left to pursue my law degree abroad, I posted a status on Facebook asking if anyone could mentor them, as some continuity in that mentorship would have been good. I got 150 responses. This was my chance. I set up a rota based on everyone's availabilities, matched them to the children in the home, and suddenly, a tutoring project was born. This project continued a few years, and while I was in London, I mentored local children with character development challenges in my free time. I still needed something more out of life. I decided to save up and head to Nepal for a month to, chill out, experience life, work on a volunteer project. I headed off not knowing what to expect and who I would meet. The next 3 months taught me a lot about life, as I would later learn. Being Punjabi and Hindu who grew up in Malaysia, listened to English and Hindi songs, and had some basic knowledge of Mandarin, I fit right into this place. My ability to embrace diversity from a young age helped me to connect with all these people far and wide. I started a social enterprise project there that aims to rehabilitate drug users and educate and feed homeless children. Now fast forward a year later. One fine day I received an email from the United Nations in Geneva offering me an opportunity to be part of a new team. And I was like, what rubbish, spam. But it wasn't. I actually did send it to the spam folder and I got another email the next day. It turns out, not the next day, the next week. It turns out the United Nations finally realized that they're an age organization and needed to stay relevant to the young people. So they intended to create a youth wing for policy making, and they wanted someone young to run it. And remember that lecturer I told you who helped me out? He recommended me for this role, despite still being in my second year and studying full-time. It was a full-time role. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the first time I learned to consciously value my origins and stand up for who I am, despite being always told I was wrong. I stood in front of the UN Human Rights Council and defended the rights to education of young children. It might not have had any impact, but it made me feel better about myself because I knew who I was. I led a movement called the UN Changemakers, which engaged young people from around the globe to draft policies which ranged from democracy, youth leadership, corruption, technology, and education. My words were valued and I had an impact. I was respected. But why? Because I respected myself. And experiencing life as a token diversity person helped me learn self-respect, which means I could love myself, and be confident about myself, while being able to treat all others the same that I would treat myself, despite us being so very fundamentally different. I believed in my passion and worked for it even when my degree had nothing to do with it. A few years later, I received another surprising call. I was headhunted by the royal family in England. It was the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, meaning she was 60 years being Queen, and she had allocated a sum of money to empower young and underprivileged people in Commonwealth countries. And they were looking for a young person to lead it again. And based on my story, they offered me a full-time role that is usually offered to a 35-year-old. I was a bit nervous, but this was definitely not because of my law degree or my results, not because of my university. This was not because of some random contacts I knew who got me a job somewhere. No, this was because they knew me for who I was. They saw me for me, the work I do, the passion I carry, and the love that I share. Needless to say, I took on this role, and a few years ago, now, I'm standing here today and I serve as an advisor to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and the royal family. I don't consider my life a success. I'm on a journey with so much more to learn and explore, and I'm loving it so far. I face so many ups and downs on a daily basis, and this journey has made it easier for me to embrace diversity and embrace the people and experiences around me. I hope that sharing my humble adventures as a cultural nomad has given you something to take back with you. As children of today's world, embracing diversity is both inevitable and very beneficial. The more you allow it into your life, the more you will get out of it, I was thrown into the depths of it, and I did not have a choice. You have a choice in embracing diversity. Yes, there are bound to be challenges and downsides to diversity, as there is for everything. It is about taking the good and leaving the bad. I owned it, and it made me who I am today. And it gives me so much hope, so many dreams and hopes to work on. You have a choice, whether to embrace diversity. Diversity of everything, ideas, races, sexuality, gender, people, or to reject it. Those who fail to ride this wave will bring more inconvenience to their personal and professional lives and life together as a society. I believe we are all fighting our own battles, and we can do it better when we have embraced the differences amongst those around us. So we can focus our energy on bettering ourselves, rather than focusing our energies on being different and drawing boundaries between people, whether that's individually, in schools, in universities, in countries, across the globe. In the words of Kant, dare to be wise. On that note, thank you for listening to me, everyone, for spending your time. please feel free to get in touch on Facebook, Dipti Kumar, or on Instagram. Thank you.